Hi, Mrs. Fernanda here for another week of Word Work and Spelling. We are going to talk a little bit more about prefixes, which was what we started talking about last week. And I'll just pull up the PowerPoint that I've made for this week. And we will start with 3 prefixes, un, re, and dis. One of the things that you must remember, no matter whether it's a common prefix or not so common prefix, when adding a prefix to a base word, we do not change the spelling of the base word. So that's really important as we go forward. Another interesting thing about prefixes is that sometimes we use a hyphen between a prefix and the base word. And there are specific rules for this, and I'm going to go over these. These are things, I find super interesting. And when you see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I see where that's happening. So before a capitalized word, we're going to use a hyphen between the prefix and the word. For example, mid-February or un-American. The words February and American are both capitalized, so we're going to use a hyphen between the prefix and the word. Also, to avoid ambiguity. And ambiguity just means mix up or it's a little hard to tell, it's not clear. So for example, recreate means to create something again, but recreate is a word that means like recreation, to have fun, to enjoy oneself, right? So those are 2 different words. So we use the hyphen when we want to say we want to create something again versus recreate when we're just having fun. If it makes the word hard to read. So for example, ex-president versus ex-president, which just is a little bit hard to read when it's all written out like that. So you'll see that occasionally too, and that's the reason why that one's a little bit harder to tell when you should do that. And also like co-worker versus cow worker, you can see that C-O-W spells cow, and unless we put a hyphen there, we don't always know exactly how we need to say it. But if we put co and then a hyphen, then we know we're going to say that long O sound, co-worker, right? Okay, super. That's just some fun information for you when you're starting to talk about prefixes. Excuse me. We're going to add dis directly to the base word. Do you remember from last week, dis means either not or to do the opposite of something, right? Just these meerkats are looking in the opposite direction. Maybe they have disagreed. Putting dis in front of agree means to not agree, disagree. Putting dis in front of connect, to disconnect, to do the opposite of connecting, we're going to disconnect. To put the dis in front of agreeing is disagreeing. And to put dis in front of the word obeyed or obey is disobey, to not obey. And dishonest, of course, putting dis in front of honest means that we're not being honest, not honest. Okay. Then we have un, which also, funnily enough, means not or to do the opposite of. And these 2 are both very popular. If we add un to important, we come up with unimportant. Be careful with that im versus some kids say in. So it is im, unimportant. Un to usual is unusual. Just like this chimp and this little white tiger have an unusual friendship. I wonder how long that one lasted. Maybe it still does. Maybe they still are friends. If we add that to button, unbutton. We unbutton our coat. We're doing the opposite of buttoning. So that's why un is there. And then to planned, unplanned. It wasn't planned. That thunderstorm was an unplanned event and destroyed our picnic. Then we have the prefix re. We add that directly to the base word. It usually means again or to do something again. So for example, this little fella here is being recharged. He was charged, he got tired, he's getting recharged by the battery, right? To be charged again. Re to the word cycle. In this case, we don't mean like a bicycle or unicycle, we mean a cycle of an event, like you would do a cycle of water. To recycle, to use it again, to put it back into the cycle is what that means. And then to refreeze, of course, that one's easy. To freeze something again. Sometimes the ice cream gets a little melty, we put it back in the freezer and it refreezes, right? All right, perfect. Okay, now if you have your list of words today from your teacher, grab that. If not, you can always pause the video when you need to, write the words down. You might even choose to practice your cursive writing. We don't get a lot of opportunity to practice cursive, so this might be the perfect time to get your cursive on. All right, let's go with this light green today. Unimportant Here is our word, here's our prefix un, added to the word important, right? Recycle, we've got the re and then the cycle. Sigh is a long I spelled with a Y, sigh. And then there's the cul we talked about last week, that ending C-L-E, cul. Disagree, we're just adding the dis, not agree. Remember that agree, that long E sound is made with two E's in a row. Here we have unusual, that ju is spelled with S-U, and then all, A-L in this case. Recharge, we just add re to the word charge, remembering that this E is helping the G say its soft J sound. Otherwise it might be recharg, which we don't say. Disconnected, we have dis, not or unconnecting something. To do it opposite, we have the ed at the end of the word to say that it was already done, it's in the past, and we know that we are going to separate syllables right between consonants, especially if those are the same consonants. Disconnected. Disobey, here's the A, long A sound. We usually spell that A-Y at the end of a word, but with obey, it's spelled E-Y. So keep that in mind. Doctor, doctor, the or sound, it's usually ER at the end of the word, but when we're talking about a person like a doctor or an actor, we're going to use OR to indicate it's a person. Million, we're going to divide that syllable right down between the L's, and we have this yun sound, that I-O-N, yun. It's the I is sounding like a Y in this case. Thousand, we know that ow in the middle of the word is usually spelled O-U, not O-W, the way it's spelled often at the end of a word. Memories, memory ends in the long E sound, which we spell with a Y, but when we want to change it to memories, add ES, we're going to change that Y to an I and then add the ES. Total, and here we have the ul sound, A-L at the end of this word. That's kind of a tricky one because toll is often spelled T-L-E, but here it's A-L. Noise, oi in the middle of a word is spelled O-I typically. The E here is just helping that S not look like a strange plural. So the E is kind of protecting the S from being a plural. Weigh, here is E-I-G-H. We could also put weight. What is the weight of that? And we can see the word 8. So if you know how to spell the word 8, you can think of a certain weight, like a cat might weigh 8 pounds, a really small cat, or average cat, I don't know. 8, the weight of the cat is 8 pounds, or the cat weighs 8 pounds. And then the neighbor's cat, here it is again, E-I-G-H. The neighbor's cat also weighs 8 pounds. We have that E-I-G-H. So anyway, you can come up with, or you can pick up some tips from me of ways to remember those unusual spellings that it's going to be easier for you in the future. Here are some review words. We know that destroy, we have the oi sound at the end, O-Y spelling. Already, when it's two words like this, we are all ready for dinner. The table is set and we're just waiting for our son to arrive. All ready. Then we have the word law, ah at the end of the word, or the end of a syllable sometimes. It's spelled A-W. Already, we've already done this. This has happened in the past. I have already finished my assignment for today. I have already done my chores. I'm ready to relax, right? So then we just have the A-L and then the word ready. Although, same thing, A-L at the beginning, and then that kind of tough word is spelled though, T-H-O-U-G-H, silent G-H there. And machine, this is an important one. This word is used all the time. The machine sh sound is spelled with a C-H, and the een sound, instead of being like double E-N, is spelled I-N-E. Result. Result. Little, there we have our more typical tul spelling at the end, T-L-E, little, right? Dividing it right between our two T's. Lakes. Oh, I can tell this is possessive because I have an apostrophe. So let's talk about the lake's shoreline is long. The shoreline belongs to the lake, making it possessive. It's only one lake, so we're going to do apostrophe S for the singular possessive. Factories, we change that Y to an I when we talk about more than one factory, and then we're going to add the ES. And also there's the OR in there, T-O-R. Okay, perfect. All right, let's take out paper if you don't have it out already, and be ready to do a little bit of guided spelling. So our first word for guided spelling today is the word unimportant. Think about it in syllables. Un, with the prefix is added without changing the spelling of the word. So we have unimportant, right? So we're going to have the first syllable un, and the second syllable im. Remember, it's not in. And then the third syllable is pour. There's the OR sound, pour. And then tunt. That's a tough one to spell because it's, I can't see my own writing. Yeah, A-N-T, right? Okay, unimportant. Recycle. We recycle plastic jars, aluminum cans, and paper. Recycle. The re is easy because that's our prefix. It doesn't change the way the word is spelled. We have si spelled C-Y as the long I sound, and then cul, C-L-E. That's that most common way to spell the ul at the end of a word, recycle. Disagree. I often disagree with my mom about what I will wear. And then agree. Is a schwa. We're going to spell it with an A. Gr. And then the long E sound. We'll do that double E. Okay. How about unusual? Unusual. Un. And then U. And then zh. S-U. And then ul. Spelling it A-L. Unusual. Okay, number 5 is recharge. We must recharge the electric car every night. Re, and then charge. There's the R, A-R sound, and then J. Now, can I leave it right there? No, because I can't end it with a G unless I wanted to say the hard G sound. Right now, I've got recharge. If I want to make it recharge, that E is going to do the work for me. It's going to help the G say it's what we call the soft G sound, J. The next word is disconnected. The family moved and had the telephone disconnected. Dis and then connect. Con and then nect. CT and then ed. We want to add that ED on to the end of the word. Disconnected. Disobey. If you disobey the rules, you won't get to play in the game. So disobey. Now, dis is easy. We've got those prefixes, I think. O, long O sound, and then bay. This is that unusual. I'm going to give you a second to think about it. Yeah, that long A sound spelled E-Y. Disobey. And the last one is doctor. His doctor advised him to exercise. Good idea. Doc. We're going to use a C, not a K, because it's going to be followed by a T. We're going to use O-R to indicate that it's a person, doctor, actor, right? Doctor, O-R. All right. And that, my friends, is it for today. So I will see you next time. In the meantime, be well and be safe.